good morning. Just come down to the creek, which is down in the gully behind where I live. I'm very fortunate to have such a quiet little place to spend a Sunday morning. And I've come down here because it's mushroom season, and this part of the trail, although quite overgrown as you could see as I was walking in, offers some beautiful little tiny compositions. And sorry if I look a bit distracted. I feel like I'm talking to you at a party, and yet there's something else in the room that's distracting me. And you're right to feel that way, because there is so much around that I'm just looking and scanning for. And I just see over the other side of the creek there a log and some mushrooms reflecting in the surface of the water. Not that I'm going to get to it, but that's quite beautiful. Just all the beautiful ferns and the lush green, because we did have a fair good dumping of rain last night. But anyway, I'm going to show you some mushrooms that I found here on a Banksia stump, which is this one here behind me here, but also too just down on the ground here in the sand underneath this fern here. There's some beautiful ones popping up into the sand, which is kind of nice. They're young, but they've got some beautiful color and shine to them. So anyway, so let me just turn the camera around. So I have this old Banksia tree stump here, and just down in here I've just got these beautiful little tiny mushrooms. They're like, I don't know, smaller than your pinky fingernail, the top of them. There's delicate little stalks on them. So there's those ones. So I'm kind of spoilt for choice today. And then underneath this fern, which is beneath the stump, down on the sand here, you can actually see a little tiny group. But with mushroom hunting is that there is, sorry, they're old knees that are making me groan. With mushrooms is that when you're hunting them, you come down and you have a look and you go, oh wow, that's really nice, you know. But then you see little tiny clumps like this, and you go, well, gosh, how am I going to shoot that? And my phone's not really picking it up the way I want it to, but hopefully you get the idea. It's just this tiny little, it's almost like a little family, you know. And I start building stories in my head, which could be a sign of insanity or creativity. You can decide. Or it could just be a sign that I spend too much time alone in the bush around mushrooms. Anyway, so let me get set up and on one of these compositions, and we'll see what we can do, what sort of photo we can produce here. So I've decided to shoot this little family of mushrooms here first, before they get damaged if I accidentally damage them. So here's my composition on the back of my camera. I'm just going to focus that, and I've got a reasonable depth of field, I think enough that if I hit my preview, I will get enough of the foreground ones in focus. I might just try later on to make the depth of field a bit more shallow, just to sort of, because I kind of like what I see on the back of the camera, which is what the shot would look like if my lens was opened up all the way to f2.8. But anyway, let me just take this shot. There we go. It's not too bad, not too bad. I'll now just focus on the top of the mushroom here, just to make sure that I get that in focus. I can always just focus stack that. Okay, so let's just try that as well. Okay, all right. So what I'll do now is just adjust my f-stop a little bit shallower, and if I show you the depth of field preview on that, that's not too bad. I get some nice details on the family in the front, and we'll just try and take that shot. That's cool. I got like that nice soft background there. Switched my attention to this little group just here. There's a group of 3, although I'm not going to be able to get into shoot all 3 of them. But here's what I've got on the camera here, on the back of the camera. There you go. I'll just clean up some of that stuff on the. There you go. Got rid of all the data. So I do have a little bit of a leaf sticking into the frame here. I'm going to leave that for now. I might just clean it up later on, but I'll just take it natural at the moment and we'll see how that goes. So just give me a second here. 2-second timer. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to make the depth of field a lot shallower. I'm actually shooting aperture priority here because I don't really care about the shutter speed. Mushrooms don't move all that much. It just makes it easier to get everything right. Yeah, I've just switched my camera to a landscape orientation just to sort of center these guys in here. Maybe that might look all right as a square crop. I don't know. Anyway, let's just get this shot. So I'll just show you what I've got on the back of the camera. I'll just show you where my camera is. It's right underneath this bracken fern, which is all fine. And I just have to get down so low. And then, oh yeah, I'll just get that nice and focused. So let me just show you my settings. Just bring those up. So yeah, I'm still sitting at f4.5. And I got a 2-second timer on, so let's just shoot that. Okay. So that's that now. I hope I don't have my other camera in the background because that would be very disappointing. Anyway, I might actually yeah, do I need to clean that up? I think I might just leave it natural actually. I don't mind that. I might just try and just double check the sharpness of that image. So I'll just zoom in. Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah, okay, so I might do that again. This time I'll just sharpen it a little bit. Anyway, it should be focused now, so let's try that again. Let's see if I can now see what happens if I open up the aperture a bit more and just really create a really nice soft surrounding background and foreground. Okay, that'll do it, I think. So let me shift my attention up to this log. I'll come down here. Well, it's a log. It's a dying tree. I'm going to maybe try and Photograph this one here or something. But let's just maybe walk around a tree and see what we can find. So that was the one I was looking at. But there's a few more here. I like that one up the back there, this one. Where's my finger? There it is here. I really like that one. It's kind of cute. And then these ones here, well, they're kind of at the end of their life. Let me just move around the other side. There's the other side. That's that little one up the back that I showed you before. And this one here is the one that looked a bit past its life. It doesn't look too bad from this side, but I do kind of really like this one. So what I might do is photograph the one that's around the back here. Not that one. There's one around the back here that I showed you before, and then I will move around and we'll see what we can put up for this one. Might be a focus stack where I'll shoot at f2.8, the aperture wide open, just so that I soften all this background here, all that distraction. And then I'll shoot at f8 or similar to get the depth of field on the mushroom to its stalk here. But yeah, let's just trial and error, see what happens. So here it is. Now I'm going to use this branch here. You're not really going to make it out, but it's actually going to give me a really nice soft foreground. So if I show you on the camera here, that's my composition. I could probably just tilt the camera down a little bit to just get more of the base of the mushroom in here, but so I might just try that. Stand by. Yeah, so that's not too bad. Now it's nice and hazy down here, but that's because I'm shooting through this. If I was to move that out of the way, yeah, you get more of the mushroom, but I'm going to leave it in for the minute, and I'm going to do a one with and one without. But I like the fact that this mushroom here is in soft focus as well. It gives me a bit of depth in the photo. The other thing you've got to remember too with these mushrooms, when you've got a dark background, the camera's doing a lot of its exposure based on that, particularly in aperture priority mode. It's trying to balance out the exposure to get it as even as possible, or basically just center it around middle grey. Now the problem with that is that it tends to blow out the detail in the mushroom cap. So what I've got to do is adjust my exposure compensation dial. Hang on, I said adjust my exposure compensation dial, so that until I get a little bit more detail in that cap, and I don't lose the colour in it. Just like that. So let's just double check the focus to make sure we're it's all good. Oh, okay, so as I've actually placed that little rectangle over the cap of the mushroom, that's the camera's now taken its exposure on that. So now with my exposure compensation dial, I've got to go back. So that's probably one advantage to using an automated mode like aperture priority, because it actually takes care of a lot of the exposure stuff for you. So let me just take zoom in here, just to make sure that I got it focused. It's pretty good. I'm probably going to have to focus stack it, which means I'm going to, so if I show you the depth of field preview, you can kind of see that the edge of the mushroom up the top there is in focus, the stalk's not, and the gills at the background aren't. So I'm going to focus stack that, and I won't bore you with that. But basically, what focus stacking is that I will, like I've done here, take an exposure focusing on the front edge of the cap, and then I'll take an exposure on the stalk, and then focusing on the stalk, and then I'll take an exposure focusing on the back gills or the back edge of the cap. That should be it. So I'm not going to show you how I do that. I've just explained it, but it's just going to be hard to do while I'm filming. So yeah, so I'll put the photo up at the end so you can see how it all came together. And now what I'll do is I will just tuck this branch underneath the leg of my tripod for the minute, just to give it a little bit more clarity to the foreground. Not sure if I like it, but better to have the shot and not use it than not take the shot and go and wish you had. Don't live with regrets. Memory's cheap. So let me just go through that focus stack again, repeat that process for this shot, and we'll put that up at the end just so you can compare. Now, what I really like about this composition is the colour harmony that exists between the lichen and subscribe and the pink cap of the mushroom. Yeah, really like that. Anyway, let me move around to the other side of this stump and get a shot of the other mushrooms around the other side. So I've got it all composed here, and I really like the soft background here. It's still got those mushrooms in the back, but because they're actually at the end of life, they're not pristine, so they don't look that nice. But it still tells a story of this one mushroom here. So I focused on the leading edge of the cap, and then the next shot I'll take, and I'm at f8, so I've got a reasonable depth of field there. But what I'm going to do is after this shot, I'm going to focus on the stem, and then what I'll do is after that shot, I'll open up my aperture right up, focus on the front of the cap, or actually on the stem, doesn't really matter, so that I get that really soft background that you see when I blend the three images together. Okay, so the second shot focused on the stem. And then what I might do is just show you, I'll just zoom into that. So you can actually see the effect of the f-stop at f8. It actually has a reasonable, it provides a little bit of sharpness on the front of the cap as well. So I may not need that first frame. Better to have it, not use it, than not have it and go, dang, I wish I had it. Anyway, so now I'm going to change my aperture to something really wide, and the camera will take care of the shutter speed, and then there you go. So you see that really nice soft background, and if I go back to the previous image, that's the difference between f8 and f2.8. Your really shallow depth of field, but what I'll do is just simply blend in the sharp parts of that mushroom. I got a call from my wife. asking me like when I'm coming home. I said, oh yeah, soon. But then I saw these, so it looks like I'm going to be a little bit delayed. Looks like flowers are on the cards, kids. Another one, a nice one up here. Where am I pointing? That one there. Oh, look at this. Look at the patterns in that. Isn't that beautiful? This nice little violet one, it's kind of a bit ratty, but I kind of like the colours against the earthy tones of the dead leaves. So let me just show you what it's like on the back of the camera. So I've gone for a vertical orientation. I'm going to shoot it at f8 just to get the depth of field through the cap of the mushroom. But then what I might do is just open up the aperture right open, just so that I can just bring in a bit of that softer foreground and background. So let me just take the shot. Yeah, you can sort of see how I've lost the softness in the foreground and the background. So that's why I'm going to open up my aperture all the way, f2.8, and I'm just going to take that shot again. Yeah, I've got that really nice softness to it now. So there you go. So let's move on.
Time's getting away from me, so I better wrap this video up here. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video and even managed to pick up a few little pointers along the way. It's by no means the only way to photograph fungi. It's just the way I chose to do it today. There's many different ways of focus stacking or creating these kinds of effects. If you're interested in seeing how I processed an image taken in this video, yeah, leave a comment down in the comment section, and I'll see what I can do. Also, if you'd like to see more content or be notified of it, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll become aware when I post new content. So again, thanks again for joining me, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.